Alrighty, where were we? Hey, Chidarin, remind me. Alright, so it's suspended and someone will take over the recitation and okay. Now we're back in the room and oh sorry. We had the not the 7 mysteries again line. Yeah, we're diving into that again. Alright, here we are. Hey Bea, hi. So Erika-san exclaims with a feline smile.
今年は当たり年ね。
A bumper year for them. Her meteor partner follows her up.
ボージョレ・ヌーボーじゃないんだぞ。それにあれは毎年当たりだろうが。
I have no idea what any of this means, but okay, I can play along. As she laughs, Rika-san bears down on her, braids bristling.
ちょっと、緊急の会議をするからエリカさんを呼んだのよ。茶化すなら帰ってくれる？おお、かわ。おい、お前ら助けてくれよ。このままじゃ委員長に首を絞められちまう。今はボケるところじゃないよ。私的にもこんな時に茶化さないよ。です。エリカ先生、ジョークは時と場合を選ばないと目ですよ。いや、だってドラマチックな展開すぎてついなあ。
It's a bit ironic that it's the Sasakis who are lecturing Erika on not joking in serious moments, but okay.
リカさん？いや、だってな、別に疑われてもなんてことないだろ。やばくなったらマックイーンばりに大脱走って名乗りで逃げ出せばいい。
I feel as though there's an unspoken, like Yatsushiro-senpai did at the end of her sentence. The mood in the room is beyond awkward. It's stretched taut with tension.
エリカ先生はスオちゃんがいたずらをしていると思っているですか？
Ringo-san gives a voice to the confusion everyone appears to harbor. Erika-san channels Yatsushiro-senpai with a cynical smile. Hey Mat-chan, how's it going?
お前らは本当にバカだな。何を？ここで落ち込んでる処置仲間がフックマンだって。あのな、E.T. がゴム人形だってことはみんなわかってる。これもそれと同じだ。私はな、当然みんなわかっていて口には出さないことだと思ってたんだよ。白羽がフックマンなわけないだろうが。大前提として承知してるだろうから冗談で和ませてやったんだよ。
A cat-like smile curls her lips as she speaks. Her words clear the turbid mood and return the smiles to everyone's faces.
そうよね。誤解だってことはみんなわかっているわ。だから謹慎処分なんて許されざることなのよ。せっかく練習した朗読劇も無駄になっちゃうしね。いちごね。
Her sister tugs on her sleeve and Ichigo-san claps a hand over her mouth. She sends an awkward look my way.
3日間の謹慎だからちょうど3日目の朗読劇には間に合わないわね。
Oh no, are you feeling sick or do you have to do something or is everything okay? Oh, Mot-chan. I say quietly.
白羽さんだって重要な役でしょ。どうするの？それはどうするもこうするも真相を暴くに決まってるだろうが、このままおとなしく沙汰を待つとかバカのやることだぞ。
Ah, anxiety. Oh, Mot-chan. My warmest and heartfelt pats for you. Oh. Hang in there. You can do the thing. Whatever it is, you can get through it. It's gonna be okay. Beneath the bravado, her point is solid, but I...
噂されているフックマンの件、私がやったことにしておいた方が
Why?
何を言っているの、スオさん。お前はいつもいつも。
Erika scratches her head roughly. She probably understands my true motives.
フックマンを使っていたずらをしているやつを気遣ってるんだろうが、そいつは却下だ。気遣うってどうして？噂のフックマンに間違われた。ここまではいい。例えば最悪自分が疑われるような真似をしてしまったとしても、頭下げて謝りゃ済む話だ。だがバスキア教諭はお前を告発する告発状を持っていたって噂、本当なんだな。
When I nod, the others all turn anxious gazes my way. Yeah, but like, how does this work? Do they not check? Do they not vet in any way the information? Because if they just act based on a letter being sent to them, then anyone with malicious intent could send a letter about anything, about anyone, and then they would be like, oh, okay, let's punish this person because this anonymous letter is telling us that they did something. Like, When I nod, the others all turn anxious gazes my way. Yeah.
告発する手紙があったってことは、明確に白羽を陥れようとした敵がいるってことだ。そしてそいつがフックマンだということとなれば、手紙の主は人を陥れようとしたってことで、それなりの罰を受けることになる。
ちょっと待って、白羽さんは告発者のことを気遣って自分が罪をかぶろうっていうの？呆れた。
I am pulling a squid tonight and I am unseen. But hello. You could also see it as Dahlia wanting to limit Suo's movement since she's reluctant to tell her anything. Yeah, but then this is malicious on her part. Oh, I'm gonna suspend you for 3 days, and it will conveniently be that on the 3rd day there's this recitation that you put your heart and soul into, and you're not gonna get to perform. Isn't that a little bit much? The unseenness me is. Yeah. But also the very comfiness me in the dark. So, yeah. Takasaki-san's glare is so sharp I have to avert my face.
自分を陥れた相手のことなんて気遣ってる場合？玄関マットみたいに踏みつけられてもあなたは平気なの？そうですよ。スオちゃんが気遣う必要はないです。でも。
Oh wait, I missed the message before. Just dropping to say hi. I have another meeting starting up shortly. Battling alt.net. It's proven to be quite formidable. Oh no. Oh, you got this. I'm sure you got this. Take it piece by piece, step by step, and you'll eventually pave a path towards somewhere. Okay, not saying it will be perfect, but you'll definitely get somewhere. I believe in you. Good luck. Good luck.
バカは今までたくさん見てるが、お前はその中でも飛び切りだな。
Oh god, Erika.
ちょっとエリカさん。
私も長年バカやってるが、こいつは飛び切りのバカだ。
At least she admits to it.
いいか、お前一人が悪者になったらオールオーケーってな具合にはいかないんだよ。でもも蜂の頭もない。私の処置仲間を陥れたやつには相応の罰を受けてもらわなくちゃならない。
I like Erika in her protective mode. She's cute. She's clearly made up her mind, and although I'm not totally on board, I can bring myself to reject my friend's concern. I nod reluctantly.
よし、とりあえず方針は決まった。告発状を送ったやつを締め上げる。
それは早計ではないですか？
何？
スオちゃんを陥れた告発者がフックマンだと決めつけるのは危うい気がします。告発者は告発者、フックマンはフックマンと分けた方がいいです。
Erika-san nods, admitting that she may have been getting ahead of herself. Ichigo-san commends her sister's thinking, and Ringo-san puffs her chest out proudly.
それじゃあまず確認なのだけど、クラブハウスで見かけられているというフックマンは白羽さんではないのよね。まさか。
おい、嘘だろ。
As they bear down on me for answers, I tell them that there may have been a misunderstanding.
誤解って。
その2階屋の階で初めてフックマンの報告を受けたその日から見つけるためにクラブハウスが見渡せるところで張り込んでいたの。
あの日先に帰っていてと言ったのはそのため。
When I affirm this, she puts a hand to her forehead as though beyond exasperated with my idiocy.
あの日からずっと
ごめんなさい。
謝ってほしくなんてない。私だって副会長なのに。アミティエとして頼ってほしかった。
All I can do is apologize again. There's a reason I couldn't go to Rika-san for help, but that's my own problem.
まあ落ち着けよ、委員長。
だって
お母さん落ち着いてください。こいつがイラ抜きを回すのはいつものことだろ。
Oh, what a line. She frowns at Erika-san's teasing tone, but then lets out a long sigh and thanks her.
嫌な予感がしたから尋ねたけれど、これはフックマンは本当に白羽さんが見間違われたっていう可能性も。
There's also definitely someone that's up to something, because if the rumors resurfaced without her doing anything, then there has to be someone involved, no?
いえ、それはないですよ。スオちゃんは2階屋の階の報告があってから張り込みをした。目撃された最初のフックマンがいるはずです。はい、先生。
誰が先生だよ。
手紙を送った人ってリンゴが言った最初のフックマンを見たから送ったのかな。それとも張り込んでるスオちゃんを見て誤解した。
Everyone wonders aloud at the answer to her question. I'm about to say something when I'm brought up short by my Amitia partner's murmur.
見張っているところを見られなければこんなことには。
Scratching her head, Erika-san counters that it might actually be a good thing if I was spotted.
ちょっとどういうこと？
落ち着けよ。見られていて正解ってのはこの件を解決する肝となるからさ。
Of course.
なあ千鳥、見ただけでどうして手紙の差出人はフックマンだと断定できたんだと思う？
それは手に鍵爪、フックを持っていたからでしょう。この学院では特徴として他に緑色の街灯を着込んでいるそうだけれど。
それだよ。なあ白羽、お前千鳥が言ったようなフックマンの格好をして張り込んでいたんじゃないよな。
I like this, my dear Chidori. Oh, that's a sweet detail.
もちろん違うわ。冬用の外出着よ。
これで一つ証明された。告発状を書いたやつは嘘をついている。変装していないのになぜ白羽をフックマンだと名指しできたんだ。
She's given voice to the question I myself had. There is a glaring lie in the letter.
確かにそうだわ。
それじゃやっぱり手紙を送った相手がフックマンなの？
そいつはまだわからない。
Oh, excuse me?
そいつはまだわからない。可能性は高いと思うがね。だが無実を晴らせる確率が上がった。
どういうこと？
告発状は嘘で塗り固められている。真実しか書かれていないのならちょいと汚い裏技を使わなければならないが、そんな真似をしなくとも嘘ならどんなにうまくついたとしても必ず穴がある。
私たちはどうすればいいの？
単純なことだよ。まずはフックマンを見たってやつを探し出すんだ。
What is she, an armchair detective? Was it me who said that, or Chidori? My Amity has become quite the voracious reader recently, so it wouldn't be out of place for it to have come from her. We've taken on the role of mama birds, feeding tidbits of information to Shirahane as she waits out her suspension. And our armchair detective gobbles them down. Thanks to the extensive friend networks of Ichigo and the Prez, it didn't take long for us to find students who claimed to have seen the Hookman. In fact, there were more witnesses than expected. We split up into 3 groups, the Sasakis, me and Chidori, and the Prez, to speak to all the students about their encounters. And, as I predicted, we were able to ascertain the existence of a Hookman that wasn't Shirahane. As with the previous sightings, this Hookman was spotted between twilight and midnight. It presented itself physically just as it did in summer, a green overcoat and a hook in its hand. Claims about its appearance are questionable, however. No one really got a good look at the Hookman. It was always from far off or a glimpse as it cut across their path. People see what they want to see. If it was the dead of night, the green overcoat would appear black. A hatchet for cutting back branches could easily become a deadly hook if their thoughts were already on the Hookman. All the same, as it turned out, the club building wasn't the only place the apparition had been spotted. Sightings were reported around the allotments and on the 3-lined path opposite the dormitories. This was news to us. The Council of Nicaea had only received reports of it being seen around the club building. This difference piqued my interest, and that of the armchair detectives.
そう、フックマンが目撃された場所が違う。
After listening to Erika-san's findings, I nod.
何か分かったか？
I feel like I'm overlooking something, but the Hookman isn't going to reveal itself to me clearly, so in order to get a good look at it...
私的に頑張ったんだけど、あんまり役には立たない。
そんなことないわ。すごく役立っているわ。ただ、
時間がないわね。
She's right. The recitation is in 2 days.
やっぱり私、ダリア先生へ直訴するわ。スオンさんがそんなことするわけないって。
リッカさん。
そうだよ。みんなでお願いすれば優しい先生だもん。
Takasaki-san adds her agreement and everyone gets riled up talking about going to see Sister Dahlia right this minute until...
落ち着けよ。
Yeah. A cup of tea in one hand, Erika-san gestures for everyone to sit back down.
エリカさんは今のまま放っておけって言うの？
だから落ち着けって。バスキア教諭に頼み込んだってどうしようもないんだよ。
Yeah, right now I don't think it can do that.
どうしてよ。絶対に規律を守りなさいって？そんなに融通が利かない人なの？
バスキア教諭を悪く言うな。あのな、告発状、手紙は学院宛てで投函されてるんだよ。
ダリア先生一人を説得しても意味がないです。
She nods and takes a sip of her tea.
で、名探偵は現状を打開するアイデアは見つかったかい？
At first, I don't realize she's talking to me. I do have a strategy. I don't really want to raise it, but seeing the earnest appeal in her eyes, I nod hesitantly.
マジかよ。
本当なの？
でも、これはあまり褒められた操作方法とは言えないの。
今さらそんなこと言っている場合？早く言いなさい。
この方法はエリカさんの協力が必須なのだけど。
二階屋の会の会長様に一つ貸しができるなら安いもんだ。何をやらせようって言うんだ？
What I'm about to suggest could adversely impact someone Erika-san believes in, so I'm loath to say it, but...
バスキア教諭の部屋に忍び込みたいの。
Oof, oof, okay. We decide to stage our break-in the following afternoon. Our break-in! Oh my god! However,
これって新しい錠前だわ。
when we pay a reconnaissance visit under the pretext of bringing our lunches back to our rooms,
そういえば八代先輩が新しい錠前に取り替える旨を2回の回で取り上げていたって。
previously, Erika-san had made short work of the lock on Komikado-senpai's door, so there had been talk of upgrading the locks for security purposes. Oh no! Oh no! But I never expected it to be implemented so soon.
確かに話しちゃいたが、フットワーク軽すぎだろ。
私たちの部屋はこの錠前ではないから、まずは教職員からということなのかしらね。
The new lock is like the automatic locking systems they had at a hotel I once stayed at, having gone to see one of my stepmother's piano recitals.
どうするの？いちごさんたちがダリア先生を引き止めているはずだけど、そんなに長くは持たないわ。
To solve our current mystery, there's something in particular I need from Sister Basket's room. Spurred on by impatience, I lay my hand on Erika-san's shoulder.
なんだ、お前がボディタッチとか珍しいな。できれば千鳥がいないところでやってほしいがね。
エリカ？
騒ぐな、ジョークだよ。何か焦ってるようだが。
She squints at the doorknob, then the keyhole.
よくあるビジネスホテルタイプの鍵だ。おい、誰かクレジットカード持ってないか？
Oh god, Erika, what the heck? She asks us.
お金で解決しようってわけ？今は冗談を言っている場合じゃ。
まあ持ってるわけないよな。ならクレジットカードくらいの大きさでそれなりに強度のあるカードはあるか？
もしかして
このくらいの錠前なら何とでもなる。そうだ千鳥、お前プラスチック製のトランプのカード持ってたよな。ひとっ走りって取ってきてくれ。
Oh my gosh. Erika, what are you doing? They're gonna have to change the locks again. Oh gosh. With a muttered of course, Erika-san passes me the item she borrowed from Sister Basket's room, then puts her hand to her chin and screws up her face. Hopefully this would provide us with the clue.
さすがエリカだね。難しい鍵になっても開けちゃったんでしょ？そのおかげでこの告発状、手紙を手に入れることができた。
Yes, I now have the item I asked Erika-san for.
告発状。
Erika-san murmurs, staring down at the letter in my hand. We all look over the writing on the page.
苦労した割には実りが少なかったわね。
骨を折った相手が目の前にいるのに言っていいセリフじゃないぞ。
Takasaki-san murmurs, then falls silent. Okay. Nice to meet you. 1 and 4? What is that?
私をフックマンである白羽スオを見た時の日時と気候、場所が記載されている。
いたずらをする生徒をどうか責めないであげてください。強すぎる仕置きは体だけでなく心まで傷つけ、自分を見失わせ、都合のいい現実を生み出し、そこに逃げ込んでしまうかもしれません。
What is that? Isn't that a little bit condescending? What?
無償の愛でどうか包んであげてください。
What?
結びは優しい言葉だけれど。
最後にいたずら書きしてやがる。キリスト教的に言えば心優しい隣人ってのを演じてるが。
She points to the bottom of the letter where there's a picture of a reindeer printed on the Christmas-themed stationery. A hand-drawn speech bubble extends from its mouth.
Nice to meet you. よろしくという意味ね。
でも手紙の流れからするとフックマンの真似をした生徒スオちゃんの処罰を軽くするように書いているように見えるけれど。
Well, why send the letter in the first place then?
どうだか
Erika-san snorts, asking Takasaki-san to bring her a cup of coffee. I run my eyes over the letter again.
何かわかった？
I tell them that there's one strange inconsistency.
この日なのだけど、
I read out the details, time, place, weather, of the sighting that supposedly occurred on the day I met with Maeri in the art room.
あれ、その日って雪降ってませんでしたか？何？
Erika-san snatches the letter from me and glares down at it like a caterpillar. Like something gross.
あの日は確かに雪が降っていた。だが、この手紙では曇天とある。
それって手紙の主が嘘をついているってことじゃ。一つも嘘のない記載なら価値はあるけれど、誤りがあるのなら。
She's about to say it would cast the whole thing into doubt, but Erika-san cuts her off.
いや、こいつが正しい。確かのあの日は朝から雪が降ってたが、夕方にはもう止んでいた。
Her words fall like rain on a bonfire and silence fills the room.
私が悪いのか。
そうじゃないけど、せめて吹雪いていたなら雪で見えづらかったとか言えそうなのにね。
Ichigo-san's tone is dejected, but
雪で見えづらい。何か。
I feel something tugging at me. It's that same horrible niggling feeling that itches at me whenever I can tell I'm missing something. Erika-san picks the letter back up from the desk and stares intently at the handwritten text as though able to see through the truth behind it.
日時、気候、場所、これらに間違いはない。最後の言葉。
I ask that you please do not condemn the student who committed this prank. Too harsh a punishment would harm them not only physically but mentally, and they would perhaps lose sight of themselves and seek refuge in their own convenient version of reality. What are you talking about? Please treat them with selfless love and compassion.
何かが引っかかる。
Rather than overlooking something, I get the feeling that I'm being shown something I don't really want to see. What? Why are you laughing, Rika? Suddenly, a giggle quite at odds with the mood cuts through the tension and I quickly look up.
ごめんなさい。すごく真剣に見ていたから。
Then Rika-san seems to notice that everyone else is looking at her dubiously, as if to ask what could possibly be funny about this situation. She blinks rapidly and flaps her hand around, loudly proclaiming that she didn't mean it like that.
別に茶化したわけじゃなくて、私には便箋のトナカイを見つめていたように見えたから。
トナカイ。ええ、そうね。このトナカイさん、可愛いものね。
I mean, they're well past Christmas times. Like, why is it in the stationery for the holidays with a reindeer on it? It's so weird. So many things about it are so weird.
ええ、少し前に視聴覚室でみんなで見たジングルオールザウェイって映画を思い出していたの。
Rika-san's words ease the tense mood, and everyone starts talking about how fun the movie was. Recalling the scene where Arnold Schwarzenegger shouts out the names of the 8 reindeers, I find myself smiling
ト
too.
ナカイの名前。背中に書かれている。
Oh, numbers!
もしかしたら。
1 plus 4. The puzzle pieces that were all jumbled together suddenly slot neatly into place, forming a complete picture in my
あ
mind.
りがとう。困っている時に助けてくれるのは、やっぱりリッカさんだわ。
Okay.
スオさんがそう言ってくれるのは嬉しいわ。
Feeling my Amitia partner's soft, warm body in my arms, I think about what this letter really means. The bigger the man, the deeper the footprint. And if he loves, he suffers knowing it's a dead-end street. I think of that line from Cinema Paradiso. Gazing out the window, I see the faint trace of footsteps on the snowy path and wonder whether my own footprints remain stamped on her heart. Hers still stand out in sharp relief on my own. They left deep, indelible marks. Turning away from the window, I murmur aloud that I'm doing the same thing again. Although this time I'm in the opposite position, back then Yatsushiro-senpai was the one. Memories surface like old wounds as I stand there in the close, quiet darkness. I shake my head to clear it, then begin to sort out my thoughts so that I can approach what I need to do in the right order. Okay, we're reasoning now. Okay. One by one, I'll tease out the facts I need from the information I've gathered. First, the information gathered due to everyone's efforts and the contents of the letter. The proof that I am not the Hookman. What proves that Suo Shirahane is not the Hookman? There was information that could only have been obtained at close range. The reindeer picture. There were too many Hookman sightings. The close range thing, maybe? It's kind of like what they were talking about, that like they would have to know it's Suo, so that then it couldn't have been that she was the Hookman or something. I don't know. Wait, where am I on the guide? Here I am. Yeah, this is the one. There was information that could only have been obtained at close range. Okay. Right, this should persuade them. But in order to convince them that I'm not the culprit, I may have to give them the real culprit's name and motive. Indeed, there's a secret hidden in the letter. What is the secret hidden in the letter? A declaration of revenge, the words of the Council of Nicaea, notice of the next crime? What? I don't know. Notice of the next crime? Would that be the... I don't know what the mystery 1+4 nice to meet you reindeer thing is. I don't know if it's a declaration of revenge or what words of the council. I'm so confused. The option is words of the council. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea what that means. Okay, fine. This is the truth I've arrived at thanks to everyone's investigative efforts. And now the name of the person who sent the letter. Who sent the letter? Dahlia Basket, Mairi Kosaka, Yuzuriha Yatsushiro. How would I know? Seems I need to make a save. Okay. The answer is Yuzu. Why would Yuzu do that? What? I'm completely like out of it. I don't get it. She's out there having like the time of her life with Nerine. Like why would she be involved in this? I don't understand. But okay. After I've finished piecing everything together, I realized that something still feels slightly off. There's something I haven't quite digested. Okay. I'm trying to shake the queasy feeling in my stomach when a noise heralds the arrival of the person I've been waiting for. You're supposed to be spending your suspension in your room. Sister Basket steps into the room. Her words are accompanied by a reproachful look.
手紙を返すという投書はあなたがしたことなのですか?
I am. I had Ichigo-san leave a note outside Sister Basket's room summoning her here.
はい。私がバスキア教諭を招くためにしたことです。
So, not only are you admitting to stealing the letter from her room, then saying that you'll return it, but also you're actively breaking the rules, let's say, by asking her to come meet you outside of your room where you're supposed to be. Okay. How is Sister Basket going along with this?
私の部屋からあの手紙を盗んだのも
The accusatory word is like a stab to the chest. But I straighten my posture, unwilling to bow to the suspicion I've seen in her eyes ever since she handed down my suspension, and nod slowly but firmly.
やはり
Sister Basket signs the cross in front of her chest. I tell her that, at first, I thought maybe it was fine for me to be the hookman.
なんですって
この手紙が告発した通り、はじめは 私がフックマンでもいいと思っていました。なぜなら、私が自分の疑いを晴らすことで、本物のフックマンが糾弾されてしまうことになるからです。
それは。
I think I hear her murmur the phrase self-sacrifice. I look her straight in the eye.
ですが、私を推薦してくれた佐々木いちごさん、りんごさん、誰よりも練習を頑張っていたりっかさん、合間に指導してくれたエリカさん、千鳥さん、朗読劇に参加する2年生のお二人にも迷惑をかけてしまう。だから疑いを晴らそうと決めたのです。
白羽さんのお気持ちは分かりました。ですが、朗読劇は明日、今さら探そうとしても。
真相はすでに分かっています。
My statement echoes in the gloom. It feels like my words themselves have petrified along with the air through which they now reverberate. Here in this still and silent space, it feels as though the only thing moving is the gaze of my stepmother as she tries to ascertain what's happening.
真相が分かっている？ですが、フックマンは。
Sister Basket's soft, bewildered voice shatters the frozen air. I hold out the letter to her.
私を糾弾するこの手紙の中には、私を見たという詳しい日時、天候、場所が書き連ねられています。
それが誤りだというのですか？
いいえ、恐ろしく正確でした。この手紙通り、確かに私はあの場に潜んでいた。
She falls silent, searching my eyes. Her probing gaze reminds me of how Yatsushiro-senpai would look inside me.
この手紙での唯一の相違点は、日時でもなく、気候でもなく、場所でもない。私はフックマンの紛争をしていないということです。
それは。
私が嘘をついてるとお思いですか？ですが、フックマンの格好は緑色の街灯に、手には鍵爪。この学院には私服は持ち込めない。
以前、夏に起きたフックマン騒動で、学院指定のレインコートと枝打ちの棒などを持っていれば錯覚するだろうという話を聞いています。
That had been Erika-san's suggestion when she had put the Hookman incident to rest in front of everyone. I nod.
確かに人は錯覚してしまうこともあります。見たいものを見てしまう。私がレインコートを着込み、凶器を手にしていたら、そう見えてしまうでしょう。
でしたら。
ですが、ここで一つ疑問が残ります。私が紛争していたのなら、なぜ黒いレインコートを緑色だと手紙の送り主は思ったのでしょうか。
Sister Basket galls silent again, staring down at her feet for a long moment before answering.
八重垣さんのお話でも目の錯覚だと話していました。白羽さんが目撃されたのは夕暮れ。黒いレインコートが遠くからは緑色に見えてしまったのでは？
And there we have it. I heave an internal sigh of relief. From the corner of the room, my stepmother cackles.
つまり、バスキア教諭は手紙の送り主が遠くから私を見ていたと？
え
え。では、なぜ告発者はそのフックマンを私だと断言できたのでしょうか？黒いレインコートが夕映えであやふやになるほど遠くから見ていたのなら、相手はどうやって私の顔を視認していたのですか？
Yeah, I guess this is the one part of the mystery that makes sense to me as well. This I understand. I'm following. But the rest, I don't get it. She seems finally to grasp the meaning behind my words. Looking down at the letter still clasped in my hand, she rubs a hand over her forehead.
フックマンの紛争を完全に行うなら、目深にフードをかぶっていなければならない。なおさら顔を確認しづらい。
I push on.
確かにニカイアの会でフックマンの噂を聞き、一人で調べていたことは事実です。ですが、その時も私の周りに顔を確認できるほど 近くにいる人物などいなかった。
ではこの手紙は？
行動を読み予測して書いたものだと推測しています。私の性格を知る者ならフックマンの事件が解決するまで捜索することは容易に判断できる。この手紙が予測を含むものとして伺えるのは日時は正確ですが、初めて私がフックマンを探索した日は含まれていない。
I show her how, even though I set out to solve the Hookman mystery, on the very day of the council, on the very day the council received the report, that date isn't included in the letter.
つまりこの手紙は
私を陥れるための罠です。
Strictly speaking, that's not entirely the truth, but it's a palatable enough version.
バスキア教諭から教職員の方たちへ誤解であると話をしていただけますか？
Whether or not I'm permitted to perform in tomorrow's recitation, I want her to end my suspension at least. I don't know what's going through Sister Basket's head right now, and I don't think this long silence tells me much.
なるべくならあの人の名前を出したくはないけれど。
But I don't want to render my friend's considerable efforts useless due to my own selfishness.
この手紙には嘘だけでなく様々な意図が隠されていました。
手紙に何かしらの思惑を潜ませているという。
Nodding, I move closer to Sister Basket and hold the letter out before her.
この便箋ですが、イラストが描かれていますよね。
ええ、トナカイのこれは数字
？She squints down at it. She had probably already seen the words coming out of the reindeer's mouth, but without noticing the numbers on its back.
私はこれが手紙の送り手が私へと向けたメッセージだと考えています。
これが
As she stares down at the page, I ask her whether she's aware that Santa Claus has other reindeers besides the famous Rudolph.
赤鼻のトナカイ、ルドルフを除いたハット、ダッシャー、ダンサー、プランサー、ビクセン、ドナー、ブリッツェン、キューピッド、コメットですよね。
I never knew them in the correct order. So I was waiting for them to say the names because I was like, I don't know which one is 1 and 4. Sister Basket says that she learned the names from a poem, and I tell her I learned them from a movie.
8頭のトナカイの名前にはそれぞれ意味があります。
Trivia Queen Dahlia. I guess so.
例えば2番手を走るダンサーはその名の通り踊り手。7番手のドナーは
Oh, I did not know that.
もしかしてこのトナカイの背にある数字は
1&4、一番前を走るダッシャーは突進者、そして4番手のビクセンは口やかましい女。
Okay, but I still don't know what it means, Dasher and Vixen. I point to the final word of the letter, regards.
手紙の送り主は突進者花菱立花さんと口やかましい女八重垣エリカさんへよろしく伝えてくれというメッセージを込めたのでしょう。
Okay. Regards to Rika and Erika. Okay, sure. It's convoluted, but then again, it's their style. I can't help but smile as I remember how particularly fond they were of Rika and Erika-san. I haven't said who is behind the letter, but I'm sure that a picture is emerging in Sister Basket's mind. With my stepmother's glare following my every move, I feel out how much I should say.
そして送り主は自分が誰かを知ってほしかった。告発状に書かれた。
I ask that you please do not condemn the student who committed this prank. Too harsh a punishment would harm them not only physically but mentally, and they would perhaps lose sight of themselves and seek refuge in their own convenient version of reality. Please treat them with selfless love and compassion. Are they talking about themselves? Like this prank meaning this letter? I read the final few sentences aloud. Sister Basket tenses as my cold voice echoes hollowly through the
こ
room.
の結びの文にも意味が隠されています。それは送り手が私と彼女だけしか知り得ない情報を混ぜているのです。
Selfless love.
キリスト教で示されるはアガペ。
Okay.
そして
Losing sight of yourself, seeking refuge in your own convenient version of reality.
やめなさい。
Oh god. Just as I'm about to speak the word that only she and I have discovered, Sister Basket cuts me off, her words sharp as icicles. I close my mouth.
それ以上必要ありません。
Why didn't I notice before? Sister Basket's eyes are devoid of emotion, as dull and cold as a midwinter sky. I've had many fearful encounters in my life with those who have lost their hearts, those who love but no one but themselves, those who only hurt others through their own weakness. And yet,
バスキア教諭。
the woman standing before me now is something quite different. She reminds me of those strange, how do you call it? It's a chimera, so it's chimerical creatures, right? That live in the dark and cold of the ocean depths.
承知しました。
え？
白羽さんの述べた言葉には誠があると信じます。私から教職員みんなへ誤解だということを伝えておきましょう。
I don't feel any happiness.
明日の朗読劇、楽しみにしていますよ。
In Dahlia Basket's eyes, I see a ghost different from that of my stepmother, and all I can do is stare after her in silence as she walks away. Oh gosh. Oh dear, oh dear. Sister Basket convinces the rest of the faculty that the suspicions levied against me were all a misunderstanding, and my suspension is quickly lifted. In the end, the Hookman sightings are written off as cases of mistaken identity, and everything calms down. However, I know the truth. I know that there was a Hookman. I was convinced it was Mairi, but considering the circumstances, I'm now sure that a certain other person was involved. At any rate, everyone is delighted for me, not least my Amitia partner who led the charge. Surprisingly, so is everyone on the Council of Nicaea. During my suspension, I was forced to step down temporarily from my council duties. The news of this stepping down seems to have caused a lot of anxiety for the other members. They were worried, apparently, that the faculty would deem the measures I passed and the agendas I approved inappropriate. Though it was a futile endeavor, they appealed against my suspension, but of course the faculty were swift in their dismissal. Still, the newly appointed disciples of the Council of Nicaea must have worried that it was somehow their fault. And so I was surprised when all of the members of the group turned up at my room in the middle of the night to check on me. I read this at like 1 a.m. It actually really spooked me. Oh, I can see why. However, I too am wrestling with anxiety. The ghost I saw in Sister Basket's eyes that day. At first it was unfamiliar, like some alien thing I'd never encountered before. However,
あの目は父の目だ。
what does it mean? Yes, I knew that look. I had seen it in my gentle father's eyes from time to time. Was what I had seen reflected in his eyes the ghost of my birth mother? And if the look in his eyes was the same as that in Sister Basket's, was there something in his emotional connection to my mother of which I was never aware? My mother was always such a chatterbox, and yet, after she passed away, he introduced my taciturn stepmother to our lives. Feeling unease well within me, I looked toward the wings. Despite my apprehension, there was no sign of my stepmother. Instead, I only saw Ogihara-senpai talking to Hokama-senpai.
名前。
The thought comes to me suddenly, perhaps because I've been thinking of my father. I've wondered about my name before, and I recall talking to my father about it. A common homework assignment in elementary school is to ask your parents about the origins of your own name. A name is the first gift that parents give their children. When I asked my father where Suo came from, yes, that was when his eyes first took on that same shade I saw in Sister Basket's. Seeing this for the first time, I went instead to my mother, and she told me that my father had decided on it after several days of intense consideration. She told me that because I was their first child, he had put a great deal of thought into it.
花ズオが好きだったから。
Apparently, my father displayed Chinese redbuds in his room, only on particular days. What is my brain doing with these words? I'm rearranging them stupidly. So he displayed Chinese redbuds in his room only on particular days. Redbud, the Judas tree. Did he know the anecdote that Judas Iscariot hanged himself from such a tree? Did he know that it symbolized betrayal?
スオさん、
I hear the name of the betrayer. The time has come. What do you mean, the name of the betrayer? You are the betrayer? What? Ah. The chattering crowd falls silent as the opening is announced. I look around at the others. Dressed in outfits made specifically for the recitation, Rika-san, Ichiko-san, Ringo-san, Hagiwara-senpai, and Hokama-senpai all look excited despite their evident nerves. The lead, Rika-san, utters a quiet prayer and we all follow suit.
始めましょう。
The moment she murmurs to me, the dark, ominous clouds that had been roiling within my chest are swept away. The curtain slowly starts to rise. We're gonna have some auto-scrolling, something? The Wonderful Wizard of Oz.
カンザス州にある広大な平原の真ん中に、ドロシーは農夫のヘンリーおじさんとエムおばさん、そして子犬のトトと住んでいました。
Hagiwara-senpai, who is in charge of the narration, reads out the opening lines of The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Oh, cute! Cute!
遠くから吹く北風がむせび泣くような風音を奏で、鳴き声とともに麦の穂が嵐の前触れにざわざわと揺れ波立つのが見えました。
It would be easy to assume that the narrator simply has to read out the lines, but it's actually a difficult role. Abandon emotion entirely and it becomes flat and monotone. Inject too much and the lines become muddied.
エム、竜巻が来るぞ。家畜たちを見てくる。
Hokama-senpai is playing the part of Uncle Henry, projecting her lines at a volume you wouldn't expect her tiny frame to be able to produce. When she first approached the difficult challenge of voicing every side character, there was an audible apprehension in her voice.
ドロシー、早く花蔵へ隠れていなさい。
Skillfully differentiating Aunt M's voice, she conveys the tension of the scene. Hagiwara-senpai continues on with her narration, telling how poor Dorothy and Toto are swept up in the cyclone and transported to the magical land of Oz, house and all. Then,
今、あなたが喋ったの？
the scenes progress until Rika-san as Dorothy meets me, the scarecrow without a brain.
仰せの通り、私が呼びかけました。お嬢さんはご機嫌いかがかな？
私はとても元気よ。あなたは？
とてもご機嫌とは言えません。
Just as we practiced, Rika-san conveys Dorothy's innocent youth and fierce spirit.
ずっとここに留まり続けているのです。カラスを追い払わなくちゃいけないのでね。
And I play my part as the sweet but foolish scarecrow. Dorothy and the Scarecrow's meeting. It reminds me of the spring. Her walking boldly in the sun, me holding back in the shadows. No idea of who I truly was. Untouched by my inner reminiscences, the story flows as swiftly as the winter skies.
エメラルドの町へと続く黄色いレンガ道へと戻った時です。どこからかうめき声が聞こえ、ドロシーは飛び上がるほど驚いたのでした。
何の声？うめいているように聞こえるけれど。
さあ、何の声か見当もつかないな。
Following the sound of the groans, they made their way into the forest to find...
もしかしてうめいていたのはあなた？
そうですそうです。かれこれ1年以上うめいているのです。でもこれまで誰も聞いてくれなかったし、助けに来てもくれなかった。
Ichigo-san is perfectly cast as the cheerful, witty Tin Woodman. However...
ねえ、あなたを助けるのにはどうしたらよいの？
油差しを取ってきて、錆びた体のつなぎ目刺してください。私の小屋にあるので取ってきてはくださいませんか。
I can't help but see Yatsushiro-senpai in the Tin Woodman missing his heart. Ever since I first put pen to paper, it was her face that I saw as I wrote.
あなた方は私の恩人だ。お二人が通りかからなかったら、ずっとこの森の中で朽ち果てていたでしょう。
The Tin Woodman conveys his gratitude and joins the others on their way to the Emerald City, in order that he may find himself a heart.
あなたトトに噛みつこうとしたわね。あなたみたいに大きなライオンが小さな子犬に噛みつこうだなんて恥を知りなさい。
分かっているよ。分かっているんだ。
Ringo-san plays the meeting with the cowardly lion to perfection. She draws out his timidity and lends a comic edge to his exchange with Dorothy. The brand new dialogue I wrote draws laughter from the audience, and my heart glows warmly in my chest. Aww, so cute.
見上げるほどに大きなライオンをいぶかしがりながら、ドロシーは尋ねます。どうしてそんなにも臆病なのかを。それは生まれつきなんじゃないかと思う。どうしても周りの動物が怖くて仕方がないんだ。でも僕はこの通り体が大きいだろ。だから恐ろしくとも一声うなれば皆逃げていく。僕に向かってきた勇気のあるものは君が初めてだよ。
The exchange between Dorothy and the cowardly lion continues. I was thinking of Yatsushiro-senpai when I wrote the part of the Tin Woodman, but when I wrote the cowardly lion, it was Komikado-senpai that came to mind for whatever reason. She was beautiful and kind, but also somewhat eccentric. Why I saw her in the cowardly lion is a mystery to me. The cowardly lion declares that he will journey with the others to get himself some courage. The recitation progresses. On their journey, they have many adventures. The group work together to cross a great river. They shake off the poppy's allure of eternal sleep. They are rescued by the queen of the field mice. Eventually they arrive at the Emerald City.
私の名はオズ。恐ろしく偉大な魔法使い。お前は誰で何を望む？
はじめまして、私はドロシー。偉大なあなたへ助けてほしくてお願いに来ました。
Oz hears Dorothy's plea but tells her that he requires something of equal value in return.
願いを叶えるために邪悪な西の魔女を殺せ。
At first, Dorothy weeps, upset at the unreasonable demand. She recovers her inborn courage, however, and sets out on a quest to find the witch. Then, as they journey to find the Wicked Witch of the West,
どうしてそんなに恐ろしい顔をするの？ここは魔法の国。自分がもう一人増えたところで驚くことはないでしょ？
the battle begins. The battle between Dorothy and her shadow, the other Dorothy. This is my original contribution to the story.
あなたは私なのよ。なぜ私たちへ意地悪ばかりするの？
意地悪？それは違うわ。鏡なのよ、ドロシー。あなたたちの愛情は私にとっての憎しみ。意地悪は愛情なの。
ドロシーはひどく恐ろしくなりました。影のドロシーの物言いではありません。自分の心の中にあのような気持ちがあったことを知ったからです。
The audience is engrossed, listening intently to this brand new story that deviates from the Wizard of Oz they know. Rika-san skillfully emotes Dorothy's conflict. Ichigo-san's witty tin woodman supports her. Ringo-san's cowardly lion screws up his courage and fights back as the assassins sent by sent by the other Dorothy. The brainless scarecrow played by me tries simply to protect his friends.
そうね。あなたの言う通りだわ、ドロシー。でも、私の告げた言葉もまた真理なのよ。なぜなら私の言葉は真実。混じり気のない心から生まれた言葉なのだから。
消えゆく自分の影を見て、ドロシーは肉をそがれるような痛みを味わいました。でも痛みがある方がまだいいと思い直します。本当にまずいのは痛みすら感じなくなった時だから。
Aww. In Hokama Senpai's voice, the other Dorothy's loneliness echoes across the stage. The narration Hagiwara Senpai spins elicits tears from the audience. We get through the most difficult part, the twist, without a hitch, and I allow myself an internal sigh of relief. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Now we're headed towards the denouement. Raising my eyes from my script, I gaze out at the sea of glimmering eyes. I no longer sense among them the ghostly shadows I did at the start. I don't even sense the ever-present specter of my stepmother. Good. Good. And yet... And yet what? What's happening? From behind the gauzy curtain covering the entrance to the small antechamber at the back of the underground theater, I see two figures and my eyes show me a phantom. The blue butterfly I saw with my grandfather dances around, their silhouettes fluttering close. A shudder of fear crawls its way up my spine. I can't tear my gaze away from butterfly as it wavers in the air. Then, abruptly. Without warning, I remember asking my father why he displayed the Chinese red bud only on certain days. My father answered with a terribly sad look on his face. And after that, I no longer tried to ask about my name. I couldn't. Well, could you at least tell us? Because I don't understand what's happening. In my heart, I grew to harbor two competing desires. An urge to know the truth and a wish not to upset my father. At last, all that was left was a twisted hunger, a desire to pursue the truth. Like a shipwreck at the bottom of the deep dark ocean wanting to be dredged up. Okay, but can you tell us? And I believe that one day, my father will tell me. Did I read that wrong? So she doesn't know. But he was just upset, so she decided not to keep asking? Is that what it was? Wait. Let me... Yeah, so I remember asking my father why he displayed the Chinese red bud only on certain days. And he answered with a terribly sad look on his face. Okay, but what was his answer? Because I understood this to mean that he gave her some information. And then she decided not to ask about it anymore. But then she still needed to know the truth. So he hadn't actually explained it properly. I'm sorry, I needed to take a moment here. His answer was his expression. Oh. But you do understand that when I read this sentence, I take it as he said something and at the same time had a terribly sad look on his face. Not that he had a sad look and that was the answer. That's the issue. They could have phrased it differently, like something like, the terribly sad look on his face was answer enough. I stopped asking after that, you know? So something like that would have made it a lot more clear, sorry, a lot clearer than, like, because I got confused, right? I read this and I'm like, oh, she knows. And then she decides not to poke any further, so maybe she doesn't know enough. But then she still wants to know the truth, and I'm like, didn't you know already, or at least part of it? Yeah, okay. That's where the confusion happened. That's where I got lost. So yeah, sorry about that. Okay. Dark thoughts churn within me as I listen to the blizzard batter the window. You could clarify if I don't wish to speculate first. I don't really want to speculate anything because I feel like I have no ground to speculate anything. I feel like I'm just floating in nothingness. I have nothing solid under my feet, so I don't know what to do. Feel free to say whatever you want, Chidorin. It's alright. I trust your judgment in relaying information. So, yeah, that's all good. Each strong gust that rattles the panes is a green-coated figure tapping the sharp tip of its hook against the glass. Oh, come on! Are you being tormented by imaginary hookmans? Although the window is shut tight, drafts find their way through invisible gaps to run their icy fingers down my cheeks. Ugh, such an image in my head. With the lights and heating turned off, the air in the darkened library is so cold it feels like a thin layer of ice must have frozen across it. Why are you in the dark and no heating? Huh? I stand stock still, the cold seeping up through the soles of my feet to freeze my entire being. Abruptly realizing, I rub the backs of my hands, but find them numb and without feeling. What am I doing here in this gloomy library in the dead of night? I think back on what happened just a few hours earlier. Our evening recitation in the St. Joseph Theatre went off without a hitch to a thunderous reception. Even after the curtain fell, the applause continued unabated, and not only from our fellow first-year students, but from second and third years too. The cast of the show gathered in my room for a small celebration of our success. Erika-san and Takasaki-san also joined us, having helped with our rehearsals. We enjoyed fragrant tea and sweets supplied by the attendees. The special tea prepared by my Amitia partner was so obviously a cut above what we usually drank, that a single sip had us looking at one another in amazement. Perhaps because of the rush of endorphins brought on by our success, even the reticent Hagiwara-senpai was able to join in our chat. And I was even able to coax Hokama-senpai out of her shell. I found out that her hobby was collecting minerals. As I was enjoying the conversation, I felt a tug on my sleeve and heard a low voice at my ear. I want to talk to you in private. Okay. Alright. That's why we're in the freezing darkness of the library? That makes a lot of sense. Rubbing my forearms against the cold I'm now aware of, I addressed the girl who asked me here.
二人きりで話したいことって
Who is it? I ask Erika-san. Okay. It's Erika. What it is she wants to discuss.
そいつはお前がよくわかっているはずだろ。
Seemingly impervious to the cold, she directs her cat-like smile at me, but I'm confused. Yeah, I am confused as well.
とぼけるのか。まあいい。こんな夜更けに校舎に潜入するだなんて、血まみれメアリーの儀式を思い出すよな。
エリカさんは参加していなかったはずじゃ。
At my words, she shrinks back slightly, but conspicuously.
やれやれ。余計なことは言わない方が良かったな。こんなことでシェイプシフターだってことがバレちまうなんてね。
え
まだ前の持ち主の記憶がうまく馴染んでないようだ。呼び出した。
What are you doing, Erika? This is another one of your jokes. She flashes me a sinister smile, then slowly moves toward me with a sound like a squeaking bat.
エリカさん。
What?
ゼイリブを見たことがないのか？メガネを委員長に借りてこいよ。
Her lips curve into a crescent moon as a strong gust hammers against the window. The temperature in the dark library seems to drop another notch.
と、まあ冗談はこれくらいにして。さっさと本題に入ろう。こんな場所で長々話してちゃ風邪をひいちまうからな。
That would be recommendable. Yes, please. With that, her expression reverts back to her usual disdainful smile, a sight for sore eyes.
心臓に悪いわ。
おいおい、ゼイリブみたいに入れ替わってるなんてマジで思ったんじゃないだろうな。
だって場所というか雰囲気が。
まあなかなかに舞台効果が高そうってのはあるか。だがこっちが悪乗りしたのは。
You're being evasive, she finishes.
はぐらかしたって。
察しがいいお前なら呼び出した意味が分かっていると思ったんだがな。それともこの後に及んでまだ煙に巻こうってのか？
エリカさん。
あの告発状だよ。私たちが得た情報から答えを引き出し、バスキア教諭から誤解を解くことに成功した。でだ。
She moves her wheelchair another step closer and faces me head on, her expression serious.
誰が言うだだ。みんなの前だから口には出さなかったが、あの告発状の内容は詳しすぎる。お前をよく知ったやつが出したものだ。ただ身近にいたって人物じゃない。性格、行動を読んだ上での内容だった。だから。
She glares at me, pulling a face like she's bitten into a lemon. She's trying to see through my true motives.
仲間の中にユダがいる。お前はもう分かっているんだろう。
Interesting that in Japanese it's Yuda. That's also the way we say it in Romanian. It's interesting. She's right about one thing.
確かに寄宿舎でおいそれとできる話ではないわ。
Now I understand why she brought me out to the library in the dead of night to talk. However,
あの人の名前を出すのは。
Yatsushiro senpai. Although the letter was accusatory, it wasn't intended to hurt me. I believe there was a hidden intention behind it. I believe that Yatsushiro-senpai hoped I would intuit her hidden message to me from the contents of the letter, which means that the letter wasn't malicious in nature. If she wanted to send you a letter, couldn't she have just sent you the letter directly? How did she know that you would be able to get in the possession of the letter? If she sent it just to the faculty, right? Did she assume in advance that you would break into Dahlia's room to get it? Oh god. Okay. It hides some kind of secret code that relates to the tulpa of Agape and Shion basket.
へえ、だんまりか。
違うの。
なら、どんなつもりなんだ？私にも話せないことなのか。答えろ。
Despite her harsh tone, Erika-san looks like she's about to burst into tears. She's like a sensitive little girl who's been betrayed by her parents for the first time. Interesting comparison. The window panes clatter in their frames. She gives a self-deprecating shrug of her shoulders.
答えは風の中にってか。ボブ・ディランじゃないんだ。
There's no bite to her usual banter, and Suddenly, I catch a whiff of a familiar scent. Has the wind caught the fragrance of the flower and carried it through the cracks?
そんなはずはない。この時期に校舎の周りには花は咲いていない。
Which means...
人は見たいものしか見ない。
Okay. What are we seeing? Well, so brother said, what do we want to see? What's happening? The words shattered the icy air of the cold, dim room. Of course, it was neither me nor Erika who spoke them.
そうだ。この香りは。
The clack of footsteps echoes through the library as the two shadows grow nearer. Lily of the valley, that's the flower I can smell. As they approach, the hazy black shapes resolve into distinct, recognizable forms. Oh my gosh.
シロ先輩。
What am I seeing? She has Nerine's flower in her hair, and Nerine has cut her hair. And what the heck are they doing? How do they have winter uniforms? What's happening?
コミカとネリネなのか。
The two girls appear before us like ghosts from the gloom. Yatsushiro-senpai is wearing her trademark cynical smile. Nerine Komikado is staring at us, her face pale and expressionless. No, she looks like she's assessing us, evaluating us. I see that her long golden hair has been chopped short.
どうした？久しぶりの再会だ。喜んでくれないのかい？
八代先輩、どうして？
How did you know that we were gonna meet here at this time? Like, how is this happening?
どうして？つまらない返しだ。ここは感激して抱きしめよう場面だろ。そうだよな、八重垣くん。
Yuzu's voice sounds slightly different. Like, I can tell it's the same voice actress. That's not the kind of difference that I'm talking about, but there's just a difference in tone somehow. At least that's how I'm feeling it right now. Erika-san has been staring at Yatsushiro-senpai as though she really has seen a ghost. But these words finally snap her out of it and she lets out a long breath of air.
あんた、本当に八代先輩なのか？
幽霊にでも見えるのかい？ほら、しっかりと2本の足がついている。まあ、シェイプシフターかもしれないけどね。
It's like more mature, less joking. But she's still joking a little bit. I don't know how to describe it, but there's something different there. I look between Yatsushiro-senpai with her unwavering, sardonic smile and Komikado-senpai.
私を見忘れたのかしら。 随分と薄情な後輩ね。
I mean, she looks super cute like that, but that I feel so bad. Her hair was so pretty. The clarification is on its way, it's just not the proper timing. Oh, that's okay, no worries. Take your time. You can even put it in the server if you want. It's like whatever you prefer. Everything's alright. She regards us with cruel and feeling eyes. It's hard to believe that those icy words are coming from Nerine Komikado, former vice president of the Council of Nicaea.
八代先輩、なぜ？
うんそれは僕が送った手紙のことを言っているのかな
Or are you asking about me sniffing around disguised as the Hookman? She questions me.
あんたが乱暴な物言いね。口の利き方に気をつけなさい。
Nerine's voice is also very changed. Although I can at the same time tell it's the same voice actress, but she's doing a different thing with the character. Okay. Erika-san falls silent at her words, sharp and cold as icicles. Yatsushiro-senpai scratches her temple and then chuckles awkwardly.
いいんだネリ口が悪いのは彼女のチャームポイントだからね
It also feels like a lot of the warmth that her voice used to have is no longer there.
だが君の質問に答えるならイエスだ僕が白羽ス王を害する目的で手紙を送った
She informs me cheerfully, her out-of-place smile never wavering. Again, I whisper that word. Why?
嘘ですよね。そんなわけない。あの手紙には私へ向けて何か意味が、鍵があるのですよね。
It's a little strange that it's so different. The game was released just a year after Oton. Yeah, I don't know if it's intentional or just the actress doing differently or something. It is fitting in a way because it can highlight the fact that they have changed, that they're no longer the same girls that we knew, that there's been some sort of development and let's say evolution of the character. So it kind of like it's not just their physical appearances that point that out, but it's in the voices as well. So it works. It works, but yeah, it feels like there's a wall now. Like they're no longer, or at least Yuzu, because she's spoken the most. Nerine hasn't said that much. It just feels like there's kind of like a wall there that you won't be able to get as close to her as you did before for some reason. I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but that's what I'm feeling in the moment.
ああそうなんだあの手紙には君にしか解けない秘密が隠されていた
やっぱり
The thick sludge sitting unpleasantly on my chest melts away, and I finally release this little sigh of relief. But then a faint sound reaches my ears. Okay, this sounds a little bit more like Nerine, but what is she about to say? It grows until the two shadowy figures are cackling uncontrollably.
鍵だって小説や映画好きの悪いところだ全てに意味を見出してしまう
Yeah, that I don't believe. Why would you go through all that effort if it was just a mean prank? Why would you even be here if you wanted it to be a mean prank? Why are you here? How are you here? How can you be here? Why do you have winter uniforms? What's happening?
手紙を出してよかった。とても素敵な顔を見ることができたもの。
Since when are you in the business of bullying people? Because that's what it sounds like you're making it out to be. That's like not you. Why would you do that? I hear a familiar bat-like squeak move in their direction. Oh no, Erika's gonna give them a piece of her mind. It's Erika-san.
そうかい。仲間の中に裏切り者がいると踏んではいたが、まさかあんただったなんてな。
とても楽しかったでしょ。
ああ、最高に笑えたよ。秋の自分には随分と骨を折って助けてやった相手がこんな人でなしだったなんてな。お前たちには心ってやつがない。
You see meanings in everything is the story of Suo's life post-Planton. I guess so. But I don't think that's really such a bad thing. You can extrapolate that a little bit to life and... yeah, okay, she's probably more in the direction of seeing meanings in stuff that could be hints leading to Mairi and so on. But seeing meaning in the things around you, it's not that bad of a thing. They're making it out to be like such a terrible, childish thing, which I don't agree with. I'm sorry, Bea. I don't know what to make of this yet myself. But Yuzu and Nerine be completely heartless, that's just like... I can't accept that. There's something more to this. See, I am Suo. I have to see a meaning in this because just taking it like they're describing it is just... like Erika says, it's like, it's heartless, it's cold, it's mean, it's just useless or like pointless bullying. Why would they even go through that effort? Even if they wanted to do that, like, you left the school, you're happy with each other. Why would you waste time on this? If it was for that kind of motivation. That's why I don't believe it, I don't buy it, that that's the motivation. But I don't know what else is happening. So, yeah.
まあ、そんなものはない。僕はブリキの木こりだ。ハートを持ち合わせていないんだよ。
Oh, come on!
心なんて花からない。
Burn and Lambda vibes. Maybe, yeah, a little bit. We spent a whole episode with you finding that heart and with Nerine finding her courage. You can't come back to me and tell me, oh, I don't have a heart, I never had it. It was all a joke. Psych. You can't do that to me. I won't believe you. Her lips curl into a crimson crescent moon, but Erika-san faces this disconcerting smile head-on.
友人に裏切られショックのようだね。
あんたも友だと思ったことはない。
Erika-san spits out the words, but Yatsushiro-senpai tells her that's not true.
そんな心にもないことを言わなくていい。僕にはわかる。目を見れば、君の中の部屋が覗ける。
何を言ってやがる。
僕が目から心を覗けなかったのは今までで一人だけだ。八重垣くんが抱いている周防くんへの気持ちも。
Cutting herself off, she glances from Erika-san to me. Then saying that she's not going to follow that line of thinking any further, she smooths down the back of her hair and turns to face me fully.
真実の女神に近づいてはならない。
Alright, so this might be the essence of it. Maybe she wants to stop Suo from finding the truth. Maybe there's something dangerous there. That's why she's doing this. But what could... I don't know. You set her on this path, though. She's just following it, so I don't understand why now we're like taking it back. Yuzu is evil now, and Rika is kind and cute. The whole world is upside down. Oh, man. She tells me.
言葉通りの意味だ。もう探偵ごっこは終わりにするんだ。やるだけやって気が済んだだろ。
Why did you even set her on this path if you're gonna stop her now?
ふざけないでください。あなたが私を焚きつけたんですよ。アガペのタルバのことも。
She's even using my words. You're the one who set me on the path to it. Yes. Like, what?
タルバ。そいつは。
おや？八重垣くんには話していたのかな。ダメじゃないか。それは二階屋の会の会長だけの秘密だろ。
そうか、タルパ。あんたが白羽に何か吹き込みやがったんだな。
嫌だわ。親切心からなのに。
三下に用はないんだよ。答えろ。
マルタの鷹と同じだ。 人々の間を巡るものには必ず理由がある。
The Maltese Falcon? We have to ask Clinton. What is this? For a moment, I'm confused by the mysterious reference.
忠告はした。これ以上探るなら排除しなくてはならない。
Abruptly, as though having suddenly lost interest in us, the pair turned to leave. Erika-san is immediately hot on their heels, calling out to them to stop.
これ以上話すことはない。
ふざけるな。そっちにはなくてもこっちにはあるんだよ。
見苦しいわね。
Erika-san grabs hold of Yatsushiro-san's sleeve to prevent her from leaving, tugging with all her strength.
いい加減にしろ。
Yatsushiro-senpai roughly brushes her hand away, causing Erika-san to lose her balance. Before she even has time to cry out, she's been sent sprawling to the ground. That's... What are you doing?
Erika-san!
I rush to her side. I call her name and shake her, but she's unresponsive.
答えて！目を開けて！
Still nothing. She must have hit her head. Even as an icy chill crawls up my spine, my cheeks are warmed by the heat of my anger.
忠告を無視するからこうなる。賢い君はわかるね。
Above my head, I hear the chirp of Yatsushiro-senpai's voice. But... what the heck? I don't comprehend what she's saying. I also don't comprehend what she's doing and how she's not reacting to her having actively contributed to hurting Erika. What? My heart is pounding like a drum and my limbs are clumsy and numb. Erika Yaegaki, my dearest friend. As I clutch her limp body in my arms, it seems to grow heavier and colder, fanning my fears. All I can do is let my tears fall onto her cheeks. What is happening? Then there is spat on Erika. Jeez, please no. As I read through the letter, something occurs to me. Those closest to the girls must not have noticed the changes occurring between them.
当事者が気づかないわけがないと恋愛映画を見て思う時がある。あれほど好意を示されてなぜ気づかないのかと。
Rika POV in these trying times. Yeah, definitely need at least a change of scenery or something, because geez. Okay, that was a lot. I don't know what to make of it. It's just... if this is all motivated by some malicious intent, I feel like it's been way too much. So it can't be just that. I can't accept that as the answer. It makes no sense to me. But maybe I am like Suo, that I want to see meaning in everything. Okay, so back to a possible clarification of the post-performance scene. Yeah, go for it. Alright.
しかし、私はこの手紙を読み解き、彼女たちの行く末を知ると、祖父が大切にしていた陶器の壺を思い出した。
Ceramic vase. Okay. Subverting expectation does this to a story. Yeah, I still don't know what this is. I guess we'll see. Suo's mom is dead. That much we know. Yeah. We learned that Dahlia's expression she showed earlier was the same one Suo's father sometimes showed when asked about the meaning of Suo's name. Yeah, I kind of understood that part. That maybe there was a sadness that things were bringing up into her, like making it bubble up to the surface about someone dear that she lost. And there's a grave with a Shion basket name on it, which could be related to her. That much I can tell. That's fine. Okay. And when asked about why he'd put up Hana Suo during certain days, her dad simply looked at her with a sad expression. From this we can conjecture that Suo's name is in some way or another connected to her mother, and that her father doesn't want to talk about it because he doesn't want to hurt Suo. Okay. Alright. The one read I was having on that, on him putting up the flowers on certain days, was that maybe those days were significant, or like they were in some way reminiscent of something significant between him and his wife. But I don't understand why this could possibly hurt Suo. Because he must have chosen that name in moments when he wasn't suffering. He was happy and his wife was there, right? So why is it suddenly taking this negative connotation? Wouldn't that be something that happened after the name was chosen? So is he projecting it back onto the name because of the flowers, because of the significant days, because of... Okay. Anyway, yeah, I guess we'll see if the novel gives us more information in that direction. But yeah, okay. I can see what you're saying. Yeah. Right, so we're back to the ceramic vase of Rika's grandfather. Okay.
その壺は子供心にも見事で、たまに祖父が見せてはくれたけれど、決して手に取らせてくれることはなかった。
It's irony. Both daughter and father are afraid of communicating properly, and in Suo's case, it's left a lasting scar. I mean, yeah, of course, if your parent won't communicate with you and won't tell you these things, you assume the worst, or you fear the worst. Irony, since Suo couldn't bring herself to ask him. Yeah, but see, Suo is the child. I can totally understand why she was afraid. What excuse does her dad have? He's the adult. He should have known better. Or he should have found some way to, you know, work through his feelings and be there for his daughter. You know? If your daughter asks you something like that, and maybe in the moment you can't answer it. Maybe in the moment you're overcome by the sadness and you can't. And that's okay, because you're human. But do you forget that she asked that? Do you assume, oh, she's a child, maybe she just forgot about it? Like, wouldn't you make note that she wants to know that it's important to her? And maybe work through your stuff that you're dealing with to arrive to a point where you can share that with her. Yeah. Or maybe the pain was just that big. I don't know, because I don't know the details behind it. But anyway.
陶器を鑑賞するためだけの台座に置き、眺めるとその壺には小さな花弁が花吹雪のように舞っている模様が描かれていた。見事な細工にその模様を確かめようと目を近づけてみると、なぜだか途端に継承としての意味をなさなくなった。あえて言うならば、夜中に降る冷たい雨のように見えた。しかし離れてみるとそれは心を奪うほどに美しい意象と変化する。きっと二人の関係もそうだったのだろう。互いに違いを意識し、強い絆で結ばれている。だが、それは近づきすぎると見えなくなってしまうのだ。
Does this mean there's another line that I can't see? Because it seems like the flower has moved, so there's probably another like sentence or paragraph underneath that I can't see. I need to scroll up. I can't see anything if I scroll up. Bugs everywhere. Maybe after we're out of the POV it will work. I don't know. Oh, that's pretty.
聖母祭に彼女が選ばれたことから始まった。
Yeah, no. Even after changing the screen, it doesn't work. Sorry about that. Unless it's written in like a white font or something. I don't understand what this is. But even if we go like further behind, it's still not there, so it's affecting the whole thing.
クラスの中心にいる優秀な彼女ではなく、彼女のアミティエが選ばれたことから小さくだが確かなほころびが生じた。
That's super pretty though. What a pretty image.
クラスメートたちも本気ではなかったのだろう。でもなぜあの子がと選ばれなかった彼女へ嫉妬という不和の空気を入れたことは確かだ。擁護する言葉に乗せられた彼女はアミティエへ心ない言葉を吐いてしまう。小さな亀裂だが意地になった彼女はその亀裂を直すことはなかった。そして決定的な出来事としてバレエの授業での成績が彼女たちを分かつことになった。自信のあったバレエでも試験の際にプレッシャーから失敗しアミティエよりも劣った成績を受けてしまう。彼女の言葉でこうあった。私は悔しいとは思わなかった。彼女が努力していたことを知っていたから。でもきっと私たちは近すぎたのだと思う。近すぎたからこそ些細なほころびが許せなかったし、そのほころびは近すぎたゆえに別の傷に見えたのだろう。しかしきっと私のアミティエは私を許しはしないだろう。最初に手を差し出した私が握った手を払うような真似をしてしまったのだから。嘆く言葉は幾枚にもわたって続く。だが少しずつだけれどどうにかして仲直りをしたいという気持ちに移り変わっていった。私は近すぎた彼女たちも程よい距離へと戻るだろうと安堵した。しかし最後に殴り書きにされたかのような文字に私は恐れを抱かずにはいられなかった。
Oh no, what is it?
ああ、そうだ。私は向き合わなければならなかったんだ。謝り、仲直りするべきだった。意固地になったせいで、アミティエは二度と。
Well, that sounds painful.
グリム童話に歌う骨と呼ばれる一編がある。危険なイノシシを退治した者に王女を嫁にやろうというお触れに、貧しい兄弟はイノシシ退治をすることにした。そして弟は奇妙な出会いから黒い杖を手に入れ、不思議な杖でイノシシを退治してしまう。弟は喜び勇み、イノシシを抱え城へ向かう途中に泥酔した兄と出会い、イノシシを仕留めたことを知った兄は手柄を横取りするために弟を殺してしまった。 弟の亡骸を橋のたもとに埋め、城へと向かい、イノシシを退治したと嘘をつき、褒美として王女と結婚する。兄は何不自由なく暮らしていた。しかしある時、羊飼いが橋のたもとで亡き弟の骨を見つけ、笛を作ると、笛は吹いてもいないのに歌を歌い出す。あなたが吹く笛は私の骨。兄に殺されて埋められてしまった。兄は王女と結婚したかったからと。羊飼いが王様へ骨の笛を届け、真実を知った王様に兄は処刑され、弟は年頃に葬られ、お話は終わる。
Oh, man.
これから始まる物語は、裏切った者と裏切られた者が奏でる悲しい笛の音のお話。
The Grimm brothers sure wrote grim tales. The singing bone. Alright then. It was wow. I don't know. It was quite a lot to take in. Wait. Now this works again. Let's see if we can find our way back to that. So... this is still about the vase. It rested on a pedestal. Fascinated by the detailed craftsmanship, I would lean in closer. And then all of a sudden the shapes would lose their meaning, the petals becoming cold, blurred droplets of late night rain. Okay, we read that. I would pull away again and it would morph back into the same breathtaking, beautiful design as before. I pictured their relationship as being similar. They were aware of how they differed from one another, but still came to forge a strong bond. And yet, as they grew closer and closer, they lost sight of it. I guess this is the one that we were missing. It began with the Feast of the Assumption. Yeah, this was the next page. Okay, so this was the part that we missed. Fixed, in a way, I guess. So, thinking back on the events of the previous night throws me into emotional turmoil. All I can really remember is the heat on my cheeks and the warmth slowly slipping from my arms. And then, it must have been time for the nightly patrols, because suddenly the teacher on duty was there asking me questions and Erika-san was taken from me. By the time I properly came to my senses, Yuzuri Hayatsushiro and Nerine Komikado were already long gone. It was as though they were never there at all. Their callous attitude had me wondering whether it was all a dream. I was taken to Dorm Mother Katabami's room and subjected to a long interrogation. But the fierce rebuke my evasive words garnered impressed upon me that what happened that night was real. She questioned me over and over in my muddled state, and each time I lied. I couldn't tell her that Yuzuri Hayatsushiro and Nerine Komikado had been there in the library, that they had been the ones to hurt Erika-san. Besides, even if I did tell the truth, she surely wouldn't have believed me. I should have told Dorm Mother Katabami everything. But for some reason, I didn't want to. I felt that were I to state it out loud, something would break. And so after a long night, I ended up going to class straight from Dorm Mother Katabami's room. That sounds terrible. When I opened the door to the classroom, I'm met by the usual boisterous clamor. I'm reassured by the normality of it all. Hold on. As soon as my classmates see me, the noise dies down like a wave receding from the shore. They regard me as one might an intruder. I remember my first day at my new school after moving to live with my grandfather. The students looked at me the same way when I entered the classroom, like I was a strange zoo animal. Oh god, oh! An angry shout breaks the silence as Takasaki-san makes a beeline for me, her eyes ablaze. I mean, yeah, of course. Yeah, but she's not gonna tell you all the nitty-gritty of it, like, right here in front of everybody.
それ れは。
答えて。
She leans in toward me like she's about to grab me by the collar. Overwhelmed, the words die in my throat.
そこまでだよ。怒って聞いたらダメだよ。ちゃんと理由を聞かなくちゃ。怒ってなんかないわ。
Is this you when you're angry, Chidori? She's yelling, but then like, I'm not yelling.
怒ってるよ。いちご姉の言うことはもっともです。私たちは断片的な噂話しか聞いてない。
Honestly. Bad. Ringo-san inserts herself between the two of them and turns to face me.
そうちゃん、エリカ先生が怪我をしたというのは本当ですか？やっぱり知って。静かに。入院したというのは。
Hospitalized? Visions from the previous night flood back and the blood drains from my face.
どうやら怪我をしたというのは本当みたいですね。
どこでその話を。
いちご姉が独自の情報網から得たのです。
Intelligence network.
エリカ先生は大事をとって町へ降りて見てもらっているとか。
Okay, out of an abundance of caution, yeah, I mean, of course, I can see that. Mediator Ringo, yeah, she's great at that. I love her. She hit her head hard in the fall, so of course she'll need to be examined by a doctor, but...
ずっと目を覚まさなかった。
While she was in my arms, she never stirred or opened her eyes.
ねえ、どういうことなの？あの子、私に何も言わずこっそり抜け出して、そして朝になったら怪我をして入院したとか。怪我をした時、あなたが一緒にいたって本当なの？どうしてエリカは入院しなければいけなくなったの？
I do understand Chidori's desperation, of course. Like, we would all be just as distressed if this was the information that we had to go with and we didn't know exactly what happened. But yeah, it's not gonna lead to a productive conversation. Lie, explain why you were there. No, I don't want to lie. Okay, thank God, we don't need to lie. Okay, we can explain. Fine. I don't want to lie. Why would I lie? I look into her searching, serious gaze.
昨日の夜、図書室に一緒にいたというのは本当よ。
やっぱり怒っちゃダメだってば。
理由があって、私はエリカさんに呼び出されたの。
理由？エリカから呼び出したって。
Takasaki-san cocks her head, the wheels in her brain turning. Then her cheeks flush and she bites her lip, looking like she's just sucked on a lemon.
まさかエリカはあなた？
高崎さん。
お願い。なぜ呼び出したかを言って。
The words seem to pain her.
やっぱり本当はあなた。
そこまで。
A new voice cuts in and both of us jerk around to look at the speaker.
その先の言葉は聞きたくないわ。スオさんはそんなことをする人じゃない。高崎さんも分かっているはずよね。私も事実を知りたい。けれど、これじゃ吊るし上げだわ。
She looks around the room as she speaks. The other students avert their eyes from her gaze, ashamed to be caught eavesdropping. Realizing that she'd been paying no heed to her surroundings, Takasaki-san hangs her head.
私はエリカのアミティエよ。当事者に聞く権利があるわ。
She says.
ええ、分かっているわ。
Rika-san agrees with her, but then she goes on.
私はスオさんのアミティエなの。スオさんの痛みは私の痛みだわ。
She's trying to protect me. Unbearable sadness surges up in me and breaks like waves of transparent water.
私のせいだ。
My chest aches and it's suddenly hard to breathe. I'm the one who spitted Rika-san and Takasaki-san against one another.
わかった。でも一つだけ聞かせて。ねえ白羽さん。あなたはどうしてエリカと夜中の図書室なんかにいたの？それだけ教えて。
それは。
If I tell the truth, I'll have to tell them that Erika-san wanted to meet me because she realized that the incriminating letter had to have been sent by someone close to me.
答えて。
And if I tell them about the letter, it might bring to light Yatsushiro-senpai and Komikado-senpai's involvement, so I can't. I don't see why she can't tell them what the situation is, why she keeps insisting on carrying these things on her own shoulders. Maybe this is not the proper place to have this conversation. It should be somewhere private, not in the classroom where everyone can hear. But why does she want to keep that a secret?
私ね、頼み込んで養護教諭からどんな風に怪我をしたのか聞き出したの。エリカは車椅子から投げ出された拍子に頭を打ったと聞いたわ。
There it is, everyone is hearing it. So, yeah.
ねえ白羽さん、答えて。まさかあなたが事故を起こしたわけではないわよね。
Yeah, and now you're giving everybody around ammunition to start rumors that, oh my god, this is what Suo did. She stares haughtily at me as though irritated by my very presence. I can't tell her. I can't face her earnestness. All I can do is avert my gaze.
まさか。
やめなさい。スオさんはそんな人じゃない。
そんなことは言われなくたって分かっているわ。でも恋でなくとも事故だってことも考えられるでしょ。
Right. She's coming at this from the assumption that it was an accident. But right now,
その信頼が辛い。
my heart feels like it might break from pure frustration. Might it not be better to reveal the truth now, here in front of everyone? Not sure in front of everyone if it's actually alright. Critical thinking is not my girl's strongest suit. I do empathize with her. I do understand. I would be just as desperate probably. But yeah, it doesn't help to do this in such a loud voice in front of an audience. That's not okay. It suddenly occurs to me that I'm surrounded by my classmates, and I quickly cast my gaze around the room. Their eyes are all on me, but filled more with pity than suspicion. Every pair I meet turns away. Even as they avert their gazes, the buzz in the classroom grows louder.
ストップ。そこまで。憶測で決めたらダメだよ。私は真実が知りたいだけだわ。真実だからこそ言えないことだってあるじゃん。どんなことよ。例えば二人ともに縁のある図書室へ呼び出してエリカがスオちゃんへ愛の告白を
Oh
した
god, Ichigo, don't throw more gasoline onto the fire. That's not what it is.
そんなに睨まないでよ。今のは例えだけど言いづらいプライバシーに関わることだってあるでしょ。だからこのお話はもうおしまい。
She looks to Takasaki-san, then turns to look at the rest of the crowd. At last, the heightened mood starts to subside. But I know. You know what? A day alone. Only that would be death. Okay. Okay. Alright. I don't know if we should keep pursuing this. We're arriving at the 2-hour mark that I said that I would do this for tonight. So maybe, yeah, let's leave it here. That was quite a lot to take in already. That was a lot. Okay, I need a break to acclimate to to everything that has happened. Yeah, I really need some extra sleep. Thank you for understanding, and thank you for being here and being lovely and wonderful as always. I appreciate you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hiver is straight gas from here. Okay. Oh god. Okay. Oof. Alright. Then yeah, let's chill on it for 2 days and pick it back up on Thursday. Alright. I feel a lot of conflicting things, but yeah, maybe sleeping on it will help, and let's see where this keeps going. Yeah, for now I'll tell you good night. Thank you so much for being here again. Take care of yourselves. Have a nice rest of your evening. Rest well. It's very important. It might feel like it's empty words, but no. If you have a bad night of rest, it fucks up your whole day. I'm living that. I'm living proof of that. So I wish you good rest so that you can tackle your day properly and feel good by the end of it. Was the performance at the proper speed so that you could read it properly? Yes. Yes. This time it was good. This time it was really good. So I managed to read it okay. I stumbled on a few words and that maybe made me a bit late, let's say. But overall this one was really okay. Yep. Alrighty. Night night. Take care. Thanks again and see you on Thursday. Bye.